Here we are back in the shop, and that's right, for all you guys that watched the last video, we took apart 6 microwaves to see if it was going to be worth our time. And what did we figure out? Well, we figured out that by doing nothing more than picking up a few microwaves and taking 1 hour of time, we made $32.45 absolutely free. That's right, but there's gotta be more. Let's crack into them and see if we can make some more money for just a little bit more time. All right, so right off the bat, we're gonna get rid of our silver bearing material. That's right, these are gonna be the silver contacts, and these guys right down here. And for all you guys that don't know, that is going to be a silver contact box. And if you look to the left of your screen, that's gonna be a little silver contact, both top and bottom. So we collect them up. Why do we collect them up? They all add up. That's right. All your breakers, all your switches, and everything else are going to have some form of silver and even some gold inside of them. That's right. So we don't pass those guys up. We micro scrap them, and as you can see, we have hundreds of these little guys and all sorts of other silver contacts. You're going to have your low-grade power boards. Again, you can sell these online for pennies on the pound, but personally for me, things like those LEDs and all the material that is on here is going to be worth more than sending it out. Yeah, that's right. If you get down on the board, you're going to see some disc capacitors that will have some silver inside of them. You're going to see some aluminum. You will see a little buzzer speaker right here, and you'll see a nice representation of an IC chip right there. That's right. For all you guys that don't know, every one of those legs represents a gold bond wire that potentially goes to the center of the die on that chip. I don't pass them up, we put them all in our process. Again, you're going to find some more relay boxes that will have some of that silver we looked at before. You're going to find a little bit of copper on all these guys. You will want to take a minute and you want to clip that off of there and take a look, because yes, they've been sneaking aluminum in on those Tolaroid donuts right there. That's right. And some boards are going to have more, and this guy is going to be stacked with tantalum capacitors. That's right. You guys are going to see these little yellow dobs right there, and those are going to be tantalum capacitors. They're marked with a C and they're in the shape of a tantalum, so it leads me to believe that that's what they will be. You're going to have these 3-leg transistor packs right here, T09, T10, I'm not sure, but I tell you what, they're there, and they're in the capacity of having some gold. That's right, every one of those legs represents a gold bond wire inside of those guys. Do not pass them up, make sure you save them, and you're going to have some more copper bearing material right there. That's right, so these guys are absolutely worth keeping. Again, you're going to see a silver crystal oscillator to keep the time. You're going to see some more of those packs right here. They're going to have some silver contacts in those relays. That's right. And again, another IC chip, a cute little tantalum. And this guy is going to have another board on the side that you guys can explore and find out little secrets on your own. That's right. These old school LEDs, never pass those guys up. Again, you're going to have some more copper and more relay. I mean, you've seen one, you've seen them all. They all have their little different secrets and their little different goodies to be had on them. But that's part of the fun. You just go and explore. So we're going to micro scrap those out at a later date. Oh man, okay, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty. That's right, we're getting to the copper. So we're gonna crack all of these guys open. They're pretty much all gonna be the same. You take your little nippers and you nip this guy open. It's gonna be full of plastic gears and a little bit of copper. Is it worth it? We're gonna find out. So I'll put you up in the saddle and let's check it out. So a minute's worth of work and look at all that copper. That's right. So we're gonna throw it on the scale quick. We'll have to make sure that we add everything up at the end because they'll have their own categories. But I tell you guys what, we'll zero the scale out just so you guys get an idea of what we're working with. So literally for a minute's worth of my time, we have 2.5 ounces of copper, 2.4 give or take. So hey, that will add up all at the end. So what's next? We're gonna take these guys apart and do the same thing. So here we are over at the vise, and all you're going to do is take and attach it in there and just give it a little tappy tap, and they will come right out. So I tell you what, we're going to get all these done for you guys. Alright, so we got all those guys opened up, and if you look, the ferrite will slip right out, and that's going to go into your strap steel. It's pretty easy. You just whack a do and they come right out. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Some of them will be a little bit harder. As you've seen, there was one guy that did not want to do that. But once you get that stuff out, if you just go take your clippers and you can clip along the edge of it, sometimes they're a little more brittle. But if you tear it up, you can get all this copper off there. For sure, it's there, it exists. And it's for free. And I know a lot of people are like, hey Scrooge, it can't be for free, you gotta go collect that. No, I get stuff dropped off all the time. I pick it up within blocks of my house, And people, if I go do pickup, a lot of the time they will float the gas money for the pickup. And I tell you what, none of this stuff is worth passing up, because just look at that. That is an absolutely easy way to get a whole bunch of free copper. So I tell you guys what, we're going to get the rest of these cleaned up, and let's see what we're going to get out of this. All right, so we got that massive ball. We have the scale tore out right here. That's right, it's at 0 with the other stuff that we got, and we put that on there. That's gonna be another 7.5 ounces of copper. Yeah, it goes up and down with the temperature, but hey, sometimes. Anyways, so that's gonna be 7.5 more ounces of copper. And what are we gonna do with this stuff? This can go absolutely in your shred steel if you want, but hey, we can take it a step further. Okay, so we got them motors broke down, and I really want to tell you it's worth your time. I don't know, you guys decide, because every one of these motors is going to have an extra little piece of copper, and I tell you what, they're a lot harder copper than you think to extract out of there. I know, this coming from me, the guy that will take the copper out of anything, I tell you what, sometimes it's just not worth your time. And these guys, absolutely, if they pop out, they're going to be a little bit of cast aluminum. The reason why I left the top part on there, again, is it's going to be more cast aluminum. So there's really nothing more than you can do to these motors to make them any better than shred steel and some cast aluminum, but that stuff will add up and we'll put it out in the total at the end. So now what are we getting to? Well, we're going to get to these transformers. That's right. We're going to get these magnetrons out of the way nicely, because you just don't want to be mucking with them right at the moment. And we're going to start cracking in these guys, because I tell you what, there's going to be quite a bit of copper, I hope. Yeah, you could be fooled. Some will have a little bit of aluminum in them, but we're going to find out. So how do we get into these guys? Well, if you get down on there, you're going to see that these guys will have a little seam right here that runs through all of these. That's right, that's a fake one. Don't listen to that. He's lying. But these seams go all the way down each one of these guys. So basically, if you put it in your vise like this, and you take a little chisel and you whack a do on the side of it, it should break them apart. So let's go over to the vise and see what happens. Here we are. We got them all broke down, and what did we get? Well, we got a bunch of shred steel. That's right. For all you guys that think this is going to be prepared steel, I'm here to inform everybody that they are made up of a bunch of thin plates. So no, your scrapyard would not take that as prepared steel. It'll go in with our shred. That's right. We got a whole bunch of what you're going to hope to be copper coils. Well, I tell you what, if you take a file to these guys, you're going to learn right off quick that some of them are going to be copper. And in fact, you can pick these guys up and you can truly feel how light one of these guys is and how heavy the other guy is. So you're actually going to be able to tell beforehand, before you even take them out of there, if they're going to be worth your time. But I tell you what, you will still get paid for the aluminum windings, and they do have some value. So we're going to figure that out at the end. What did we get? Well, we got 1, we got 2, 3 copper ones here. We had 1 double and 1 single, and the rest, unfortunately, is all going to be aluminum. It's a bummer, but it happens, and there's nothing you can do to really avoid it. But it's still not without its value. Those guys are going to go into the aluminum windings. So what's next? Now all that's left are the magnetrons. Yeah, that's right. It's a dirty word sometimes in the scrapping community. I don't know what to say. I know people are really worried about the beryllium inside of there. Yes, it can cause berylliosis. It attacks your lungs, and it's a terrible, terrible disease. And a lot of people didn't know about it, and they were affected by it. All right, so now we have the magnetrons. That's right, I already broke one down for you guys. It's a plethora of copper inside there. You guys just got to pay attention. Be safe with it. I'll show you guys how to break them down and safely get that decent little nugget of copper out of the center of them. All right, so we have a magnetron here. Again, if you put a dust mask on and you pay attention to what you're doing, don't rush through it, you guys will be just fine. And if you don't feel comfortable doing them, don't do them. They're just that easy. You're going to have some brass. There's going to be a nice little ring of brass inside there, absolutely. So you don't want to pass that up. Again, so what are you going to have? You're going to have some scrap steel right there, and you're going to have your magnets here. So if you guys go and you get a little screwdriver underneath of them, you can gently start flexing them up. Be careful. Don't go fast, but you'll be able to have these guys come up. They'll want to be attached to the magnet a little bit, but that's okay. And there you go. You got some more scrap steel. Now, if you give these magnets a gentle twist, and you pull up, you're gonna have yourself a decent little magnet. They are absolutely brittle, but I tell you what, they're fun to have. Just watch your fingers. So now if you give this guy just a little flexi flex on the other side, that will be prepared for when you're going to go inside of it. Now you want to get on the corner with your nippers and just gently go, and you can start pulling these guys over, and it pops right off. And if you look in there, you're right off the bat going to see a decent little chunk of copper. So if you nip these guys off right where it's soldered, right there, and be careful, you won't get hurt with that beryllium, you won't crack it, it'll be just fine. You pull them guys off there. You do the same thing to this side here. You give a little nip, stay away from the ceramic, and there you go. There's 2 more chunks of free copper. Now what are you going to do? Well, like I said, if you got this guy a little flex, you give it just a gentle little wiggle, and it will gently pull out of there. Now go set that off to the side. Now you're going to have this magnet here. Here's your second magnet. That's super cool. And you're going to put it off. And this is just going to be some scrap steel. You can take the brass out of these ends if you guys want. But I tell you what, we're going to fly through these guys, and then we'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I was pulling on these little copper things. I figured I would bring you guys in here. So there's going to be a nice little score of copper number 2 inside of that Magnetron. You guys just give them a little pull. That ferrite comes out, and obviously will just jump right onto your magnet. And what does that say? Well, that means that that's magnetic. So that, again, is going to go into my scrap steel. Because why? Well, it's magnetic. It's steel of some sort, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to put it in there because it all adds up. Again, all my stuff goes inside of the old microwaves, and that's where we'll find it at the end of the video. Okay, so a lot of people are going to ask how I take care of these fins that are on this. So you just take your little nippers, and you can actually nip them, and you'll be able to fold them back, and these guys will come off comparatively pretty easy. So now that we got all that stuff safely contained and we feel better about having in the shop, how are we going to get these little nuggets out of here? Well, if you look right up here, that's right, you're going to see a little seam that runs right along this guy here. So we're going to pop this in the vise. It's very important, do not squeeze the ends. When you put it in the vise, squeeze the center of this guy. So here we are, we got that guy cracked off out of there. That's right, it's really beautiful. If you've never seen the inside of one of these guys, hey, it's not showing up on camera, but this is some of the most lustrous copper you're actually going to find in there. Super neat. But I tell you what, if you weigh that guy up, that's going to be almost 2 ounces of copper. And at the going rate this copper is going to go for, that's going to be 66 cents of copper. So I tell you what, we're going to get the other 5 done, and let's see what we can get. So here we go. We have it all broke down for you guys. Let's check it out. We have the brass right here. Again, that's going to be nominal, but it's there, it exists, and we keep it and we store it up. You're also going to have some copper number 2. We got the guys out of the Magnetrons. You're also going to have some copper number 2 windings right here. For your yard, you're probably going to have to take the paper off of there. You're also going to have some copper number 2, a very nice hefty ball of copper number 2. That's no joke sitting right there. You're also going to have some insulated low-grade wire. You do you on those plugins. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to take the brass out of them, you can. Here in America, we have aluminum in all different shapes, sizes, flavors, and orientations. That's right, we got some sheet aluminum right here, and it will have its own price. We also have some aluminum windings. Yeah, unfortunately, you strike out every once in a while, and you can see that shine down there, and you can feel the weight. That means means it's aluminum windings, but hey, don't let them lie to you. They have a value as well, just like these low-grade boards. Now, these low-grade boards will go for 50 cents on the pound right at the moment, but I tell you what, they're going to be full of tantalum and gold and other things. Yeah, I thought you were going to get away from that gold. Doesn't happen here in the shop. We find gold everywhere. So we're not going to get rid of those, and we're going to depopulate those at a later time. What else do we have? Well, we're going to have our mystery copper. That's right. Mystery copper. I sent a picture to my scrapyard. They told me they'd give me 20 cents on the pound for that. I'll take that every single day. You're also going to have some cast aluminum. Yep, these are the little guys that were inside of those fan motors. Don't pass them up. They will add up, and you'll get dirty cast price for those guys. Now, I sent a picture of these to my scrapyard because I was super excited, and I was wondering exactly what they were going to give me for it. And they said they will give me bare bright for these guys. Even the little dirty, dusty ones down there, they'll do the same because they're super excited to have them. But I tell you guys what, these are super nice if you just take a second and clean them up and re-round them. They are super fun to have around the shop. So we're not going to get rid of them. But what did we get? Well, I tell you guys what we started with. Here, let's get our book out. Let's get our book out, you guys. Okay, we got a book. So we started with nothing more than just picking them up off the street, and we were going to get $7.80 for it. If we took a few seconds more and clipped the cords, we would get $8.85. Now we did one more step, and we were going to get $32.45 for all those microwaves pulling out the copper transformers. But hey, there is a problem, you guys. That's right. There's always a problem. It had a dirty aluminum load. So if you were to bring that in, you'd be downgraded, and you'd get about $17.50 for that load. Yeah, that's a bummer. So that would mess you up absolutely. But what happens if we completely break all of this stuff down with the numbers and the correct up-to-date information? Well, here we are. We have all that broke down. We had our dirty load right here. That's right. It's $17.50. And the total breakdown for everything you see here comes down to $28.02. Now, for 2 hours of work, that's $14.01 per hour American. So I tell you guys what, is it worth breaking down 6 average microwaves? Absolutely. I don't know who else is going to get paid $14 per hour to hang out with their friends and goof around with some of the funnest things you can absolutely do. So if you guys are learning anything new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hey, if you guys like these videos, check out some more right there. For my subscribers, thanks you guys for absolutely making this wonderful world go round. To my wife, I love you. And to my kids, go wash your face.